Hi everybody, Brad Lee here with another review. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late on this review as I wanted to see Alien Romulus a second time before I actually gave it a review. And the big question is this the best movie, the best Alien movie? Is it the best Alien movie since 2? Those are the questions you need to be talking about. Truthfully, I think this is probably the third best movie of summer 2024. I think this movie deserves to do better than it's actually doing right now. It made 41 million the first weekend. I'm not sure what it's doing this weekend, but I do think it should be doing better than it is. But it is a horror movie, and horror movies don't tend to be blockbuster. R-rated movies don't tend to be blockbusters, and so that's where we're at right now. But it may gain steam. It may have staying power through the Halloween season because it is the middle of August, and I guess that's probably why they decided to release this movie when they did, is because it's technically the start of the Halloween season. That's when you start seeing Walt Disney World, and Halloween Horror Nights start in Universal Studios. Start at the beginning of September and the middle of August. And there's also, if you haven't noticed, start to see Halloween stuff on the Walmart shelves and Halloween candy and all that. They just extend the buying season, which makes it one of the or second biggest seasonal shopping. Anyway, not to get sidetracked, let's get back to Alien. This takes place. I'm not going to give you any spoilers here because you're going to find all this out in the first 5 minutes of the movie anyway. This movie takes place between the first Alien film and the second Alien film, Alien and Aliens. So it takes place, I guess, while Sigourney Weaver, or AKA Ripley, is in cryosleep. So this is what's going on between Alien 1 and 2. I'm not going to give you any details about that. You'll find out when you go see this. And you should go see this if you like horror movies, if you like to be scared, if you like sci-fi. This is the best sci-fi movie I think I've seen in several years, at least 2 years that I can think of, and also the best horror movie that I've seen in ages. Yeah, it's definitely one of the best horror movies I've seen in maybe 5 years. It is scary. It's not super scary, but it is, I think, probably the scariest Alien movie since the first one, definitely. It's or maybe the second one as well. All right, so let's get into it. The characters. Didn't really like the character. I'm gonna start off with the criticisms here. The characters weren't very likable. One, maybe two of the characters are likable. There's not much character development, backstory. They don't really do anything to make you like them at all. And I guess maybe that's a reason for it. I mean, most horror movies, this is very much like a typical horror movies where it's teenagers, young 20-something-year-olds that are in a bad situation with a bad monster that is trying to kill them. And a lot of them may or may not live. And you're trying to guess who's going to live or who's not going to live, or are they all going to die, etc. So it's very much kind of a teenage, 20-something-year-old horror movie in that respect. And that's my main criticism, is it's not very adult in that way. You'll get a lot of references to Alien 1 and Alien 2. There are a lot of Easter eggs here, a lot of callbacks. There's also some Stanley Kubrick 2001 Space Odyssey cues with music and sounds, like you'll hear the sounds from 2001 Evolution. Also the monolith. I think I think the original Alien has a lot to do with Stanley Kubrick's 2001. I think Ridley Scott probably definitely was giving homage to that movie, as the movie is about killer AI, killer robots, and the evolution of humanity. Where did we come from? Where did life come from? So those movies are very parallel, and he gives homage in this movie. Well, this is not a Ridley Scott directed movie. I don't think this by Fede Alvarez, I think is the name of the director of this, who did an excellent job. This movie is well paced. There's not a slow spot at all. It was edited really, really well. I can't think of any slow spots at all, and it was very well paced. There was always something going on. There's ups and downs as far as suspense, but my main criticism is that the characters are not very adult. But there is kind of a reason to it. Aliens 2, there's a lot of jokes about colonists and not being very smart. And even Ripley says, "Did IQs just suddenly drop while I was away?" So there is a bit of that in this movie too. These aren't the best and brightest of humanity in this movie. It is very dirty, gritty, almost like a future that is all communist style, where there's working class and they don't have freedom over their traveling, and everything's all dictated by the corporation. If you meet your goal, you're allowed certain liberties. So it's like a communist future in that respect. And so it is dark, it is gritty, it is dirty, it feels very authentic, very well lived in. The CGI in this movie was spectacular. I couldn't think of any way that it could make it better. My only criticism as far as making it scarier is the first movie was more claustrophobic. The hallways and areas that everyone was in were smaller, and it felt like something was real close to you and could pop out at any moment. So that is my main criticism of how they could make it scarier. The characters wasn't really a fan of. I don't really like any of the characters except for one, and I forget his name. I think it's David Grossman. He plays Andy. I'm not going to tell you anything about him, but that was by far the best actor, and the best character in the film. And I think that he should be nominated, or at least be in the running for best supporting actor in a film, because he was amazing and his character was very complicated. I didn't really like the main girl character. They kind of made her, or wanted her to be a new Ripley, or a lot like Ripley in the end. And there are a lot of visual cues and scenes that try to make her look like Ripley. There are a lot of shots where they're callbacks to the Alien, the second movie. So there's a lot of that in it. Maybe a little bit too much. I would call this fan service. There's a lot of Easter eggs that are fan service, and I would prefer that they didn't do that as much. Having the same theme or the similar shots, similar situations is fine, but when you have recreated shots and recreated lines from movies that are classic, I have a problem with that. But it's, I guess, an homage to the original creators, so that's arguable. Other than that, let's get to my rating. I'm going to give this an 8.5, 4.5 stars. It is that good. There's really not any major flaws. I have a little problem with the speed of the gestation period of the alien and the growth rate of an alien specifically. The best thing about this movie is that it ties all the Alien movies together. I'm not counting Alien versus Predator because I don't really count that as an Alien movie, even though it's in there. It's not. I don't know what you would call it. It's not into the canon, I would say, but it does tie the other 7 Alien movies together. You kind of get an idea now of what Wayland Corporation has been doing this whole time, what their goal is, why they've been doing everything. It's not just to find a biological weapon, it's for another purpose, and this movie reveals that, and I think it's really solid and creative and smart. So, yeah, this is definitely a go see it. Go see it in the theater. I would suggest seeing it in a Dolby theater. That's where I see almost all my movies, is at a Dolby, so you could feel it when things shake and you feel the catastrophe and you feel the intensity of the movie with the sound and the, I guess, the rump shakers or whatever is in the chairs that makes everything shake. It really gives you the feel that you're in the movie with these people, and that's what going to the movie theater is all about.